Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Dream Team Chat on a Tuesday. One day I'll get it right, you guys. Thank you guys for being here. So appreciate it. I love Dream Team Chats, and I love coming to you and talking to you about things that you guys are interested in. And tonight we are doing the Q&A. I dropped down a Q&A ask thing this morning on Facebook and just kind of left it wide open for you guys to ask any questions that you may have regarding your business, recruiting, tips, leadership, anything like that. And you guys blew it up. You guys had so many questions. And I don't know that I'll be able to touch on all of it tonight just for the sake of time, but I do want to touch on some of the things that were redundant and some of the things that I do feel like I can at least give some insight into. And then we can for sure dive into it if there is a need for more discussion, or I can lead you in a direction where you can hopefully find some more resources to answer any other burning questions you have about any specific topic. So, but I am excited about the questions you guys did ask. And I just want to preface this by saying that let the record show that while I am so willing to open myself up and give you guys all my best tips and tricks about how I do things and what's worked for me, let it be known that just because I have done this or it's worked for me does not mean that it's going to work for you. Okay, so I may give you all of these tips and tricks and put it out there, and you guys can try it, and it may work and it may not. And that is the beauty of this business, is that you guys are able to not only soak in everything that I have to say or Alex has to say or other leaders on this team, but you are able and free to go and seek other leaders on multiple other teams and avenues in our Scentsy business and find what does work for you. And maybe what works for you is like sitting in a little nugget part of your brain right now that is waiting to be unlocked by something that hasn't even happened yet. And you'll come up with the perfect solution, and you'll be leading people to answers and helping people find their way in just a short time. So just know that what I am talking about here and what I may recommend or what I may say as a tip or a trick does not mean that it is the end all be all. And I want to just be able to maybe just inspire you to come up with your own resource or avenue to find the solution that you're looking for. Okay. But with that being said, I appreciate that you all are so hungry for the how-tos and the tips and the tricks and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to dive right in. Like I said, I opened this up this morning on Facebook and just asked you guys what questions you have. And I got so many. And so I wrote them down and kind of just compiled them the best that I could, and trying to figure out how I can answer them in the best way possible. So with the first question being from Melissa on Facebook, she asked, how do we stay consistent on social media without being redundant or feeling like we're repeating things constantly? I get that a lot, actually. I get that question a lot from people on my team and just on side conversations and stuff. And that's a really good question. And what I'm going to say is probably going to be kind of unorthodox. Maybe it's not going to be the answer that you expect. But I think that it is totally 100% okay to be redundant and repetitive on social media. Plain and simple. I think that it is 100% okay. Why? Because statistics have shown us, and we've talked about this before, statistics show us that people have to see and hear about and notice things, okay, multiple times before they actually take interest to it. Right. And I'm sure that if you have been working your business consistency for any amount of time, and then all of a sudden you get a sale from something that you have been sharing for a while, you know that to be true. Okay. Many of you on here, every morning I see you spraying your bed with Scentsy Fresh, or every week I see you consistently changing out your wax. If that has produced any sales for you and you can correlate, somebody has messaged you on Instagram or somebody has commented on your post saying, oh my gosh, okay, what is this Scentsy Fresh that you're talking about all the time? Or what is that wax that you're doing? Or what is that warmer? How do I get that warmer? If you have had any communication from anybody regarding something that you have been doing consistently, then you know this to be true. Being redundant and repetitive in this business is not a negative. Okay. What I would recommend, though, with that being said, is to consider ways that you can take the same products that we want to talk about all the time, because there is nothing wrong with sharing the products that you are using every single day. That is living the Scentsy life. That is creating good habits. That is sharing with our customers things that we know and love and want to share with them so that they can become interested and engaged in it. But if you are feeling like maybe this isn't working, or how do I switch it up? It can be just as simple as, if you only have 2 warmers in your house, so if you only have 1 warmer in your house, consider maybe moving that warmer to a different space. Okay, giving them new scenery to look at. Something as simple as that can really make it feel like it's different to you and can re-engage customers or people that you're trying to engage with in a whole different way. Okay, so it does not have to be, you don't have to be creating new content every single day for your audience that you're interacting with. That is not necessary. And in fact, I feel like that's doing a lot of unnecessary work, because the tried and true method of this business and how we make this work is living the Scentsy lifestyle every single day. And by sharing the items that you are using on a day-to-day basis, or the things that you are loving right now, and if you are doing that if you are doing that consistently on a day-to-day basis, you are going to have people who are engaged. Maybe not on day 1 or day 2, maybe it's a week or 2 in, but you will have people who are engaged. So when it comes to that question, stay consistent. Stay consistent. I know that it may seem tough, and it may feel like that you're um that you're being really bored by it, but just because you feel bored by it, or you're not getting any feedback, does not mean that people aren't paying attention or people aren't watching. Okay, and there are plenty of people right here on this Zoom, and plenty of people who I can tell you will tell you that staying consistent pays off. Okay, so stay consistent. It's okay to be repetitive. It's okay to continue sharing. Erica asked how to have high PRV and how do we stay motivated in staying consistent. So I kind of grouped those 2 questions together because I feel like that they go hand in hand. And again, my answer is kind of going to be the same. It is imperative that we stay consistent, but sometimes it's hard to stay motivated to stay consistent, right? And especially when you're not getting any engagement, any feedback. And I feel like that's a part of our business that we personally have to rewire our brains to recognize that just because we may not be getting likes or loves or comments on our stuff does not mean that people are not watching. And it's very important that we take those instant gratification notifications out of it, and that we look at what matters, which is PRV, which is referrals, booking parties, conversations, things like that. And we take that because that's what we can take to the bank. We can't take likes and loves and comments to the bank on Facebook, right? That's not paying our bills. What's going to pay our bills is those connections that we're making with our customers by being consistent on social media, and being consistent in making connections with our customers, whether that's through text message or phone calls or however you are doing that, booking parties. Those are the things that matter. And so if you are feeling like you're not, it's not working out so well on social media, ask yourself, is it paying off in ways that actually do matter? And if it's not, then you need to go back to the basics where connection comes in most importantly. So you need to be reaching out to your customers one-on-one, rather trying to do a general net of social media and just throwing out posts and stuff like that, because in the end, that's what matters. Okay, the connection we are making with our customers matters the most. So um staying motivated, it honestly, you guys, motivation is fleeting. Okay, you're not always going to feel motivated to make posts on social media. You're not always going to feel motivated to text your customers, to check in with them, to book parties. You're not always going to feel motivated. And that's why having your why ingrained, having your reason for doing this business ingrained in your heart and in your mind, and letting it be the reason that you get out of bed in the morning, making sure that's at the forefront is so important, because you're not always going to be motivated by making a post and getting that PRV for today. Okay, it's going to be your long-term goals. It's going to be things that are going to matter in 6 months, or it's going to matter in a month. Okay, so I can't tell you what's going to motivate you tomorrow to make those posts when you don't feel like it. You have to figure that out. You have to figure out what's going to keep you motivated. And then with that, when you do figure that out and you do let it be the driving force in what keeps you reaching out to your customers and posting on social media, et cetera, that's when you're going to see results like high PRV. Okay. High PRV is the result of staying consistent in your business in all areas. Okay, not just posting on social media. Posting in social media is not going to get you high PRV. Okay. What gets you high PRV is the accumulation of staying consistent on social media, um, asking people to book parties and booking parties, front loading your calendar, okay, and sponsoring. That's what's going to get you high PRV. Okay. So like I said, that kind of all ties into one. And I feel like that's a lot of information, but I feel like it's really important to understand that it's not just one thing. It's not just one key to success. It's not just one simple answer. This is the secret sauce that makes it all work together. But if there was one thing that I could point to and say, if you do that, you have a greater chance at high PRV, staying consistent, or high PRV, or staying motivated, it would be consistency. Okay. So, um, the next question is actually from Katie, and she asked, and again, I just pinpointed some of the things that I feel like we have time for, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sorry if I skipped over some stuff, but Katie had asked about what do we do in burnout or in slow months when we're not, again, when we're not feeling motivated, or it's really slow with our customers and we're not getting that PRV, or we're not getting the results from what we're doing, even reaching out or things like that. Okay. So two things. I think that feeling burnout ourselves personally is different from having a slow month. And maybe you feel burnout as a result of a slow month, right? When we feel like we're going, and we're not getting anything in return. And so then all of a sudden we just feel like our wheels are spinning and we're just stuck. Okay. So in that regard, it can be the cause. But for me, when I think of being burnt out, and the moments that I have felt burnt out, because let me be very clear with you guys, there have been moments, many moments in my Scentsy career, and it's been short, right? I've only been in Scentsy for about 3.5 years. I have felt burnt out. Okay. I have felt unmotivated to do things, to show up, to be there for my customers. And I can tell you that the reason that I felt burnt out was because I was not learning how to rest. Therefore, I was spending my time doing things that were not conducive to my long-term goals. Okay. So what I mean by that, first things first, learning to rest. Okay. I'm kind of a believer that you should, especially in this business where you are your own boss and you get to decide how much you work your business, what time you wake up in the morning, what time you go to bed at night, what you're doing during those times that you have time to be working your business. That's all up to you. Nobody is forcing your hand. Nobody's telling you when to clock in, clock out, what to do. Nobody's watching over your shoulder. You are your boss. And that is a blessing and a curse, right? Because nobody's telling us what to do. How do I make my paycheck look like this? Nobody is there looking over your shoulder to give you those instructions. And so if you are not careful what can end up happening is you spend your time doing a lot of things that are not conducive to getting that paycheck that you want. And we call that fluff. We call that doing things that are fun or that is busy work, but it's not productive. Okay. And in doing that, we can feel this sense of not being motivated, and just feeling really run down, like we've been going, but really nothing has been happening. And that can be emotionally exhausting. And we can feel so run down and unmotivated to work our business that all of a sudden our business takes a back seat and we go, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to work my business for a couple of days. Or, you back off and you're not talking to your team, or you're not talking to your customers. You miss a couple days posting, and that burnout feeling is so real. Okay. Um, but the rest part, what I was saying about earning your rest, I do feel like that if you are not working on your income producing activities, which we call IPAs, if you are not working on your IPAs and you are consistently just doing fluff work or doing busy work, then what you are doing is contributing to your burnout. Therefore, you are not working towards your success of your business. And rest is really hard to get. It's really hard to get to a place of rest where it's I'm trying to think of how to word this. If you take time to rest after doing a bunch of busy work that has not contributed to the success of your business, because it hasn't been income producing, then it just feels like more rest. It feels like you're still not doing anything, you're not going anywhere. So when we talk about resting, you need to understand that it is so important for you to set boundaries in your business from the very beginning. Okay. It's very important for you to recognize what you are capable of contributing on a weekly, daily basis to your family, to your business, and making that clear to your team, and making it very, very clear to everyone. This is what I am capable of doing. This is how much I'm committing to my business every week. And sometimes it's give and take, but knowing that you are scheduling in rest and personal growth and exercise and social time, and whatever that looks like for you. Insert whatever you want in there, but making sure that you insert that wherever you can, so that you are refocusing when you come back on those IPAs. And I see that somebody asked for an example of IPAs and busy work. So an IPA would be um, following up with people who you've sent samples out to, and either asking for orders or booking parties. What is busy work is making samples, putting them all together, and not doing anything with them. Okay. Busy work is making samples, and making new business cards, making new rack cards, making pretty things for your business, ordering new bags, ordering new mailers, that kind of fun stuff, and then not doing anything with it. Okay. Um, Not front loading your calendar, but posting on social media all the time. That's busy work. Okay. The IPAs are very simple. Okay. Income producing activities are, you ask yourself, is this getting me PRV? Am I booking parties, or am I sponsoring someone? Is what I'm doing right now furthering any of those three things in like the immediate? Okay. So PRV, that'd be following up. Yes, scheduling posts, making posts, that can lead to PRV. Okay. But you need to be doing things in conjunction with social media. You cannot just rely on social media as an income producing activity. That alone will not get you high PRV. That alone will not get you $2,000 months. That alone will not get you recruits or parties booked. You have to be doing things one-on-one with your customers or with people around you in conjunction to social media. It cannot just stand alone, okay? Booking parties, that's probably going to require you reaching out to people. That's probably going to require you texting somebody, texting multiple people, asking people inside your follow-ups if they're interested in booking a party or doing a personal shopping link. That's front loading your calendar. That's looking at what days you have open. That's scheduling Facebook parties, all of that. And then sponsoring, asking people to join, to um, asking them if they are interested in doing what you do. Okay. So income producing activities, very simple. A lot of the things that we do inside of our business, albeit fun, albeit is exciting to do because it contributes to those three things. A lot of it, you guys, we could take away, we could absolutely strip our business of a lot of the things that we do and talk about and go back to basics. And maybe we should talk about this a little bit more. But we could go back to basics and strip away a lot of the things that we do because it is not immediate to PRV, booking parties, or sponsoring. Okay. Um, but okay, I'm gonna get off of that because that's a talk for another time. So burnout, learning to rest, learning your income producing activities. Does it qualify under those three things? That's what you have to ask yourself. And then learning to rest. And then slow months, I feel like is completely different. When it's not butting heads with each other. Having slow months is something that is a continual thing in this business, with the exception what we've seen last year and what we for the most part, I think are still experiencing this year. Maybe some of you would say, no, I have kind of felt more of slower months this year, and that's fine. But for the most part, since he has been pretty consistent, and usually the summer is a little bit more of a slower time, and it's our time to rev up for fall and winter. And then as we come out of fall and winter, that transition into spring is exciting, but then we slow down in summer. And typically that's true. And slow months are to be expected, but we should still be preparing for them by continually front loading our calendar and by continually having join conversations and booking parties, all of those things, right? But what I love to do in months where I feel like it's a little bit slower, maybe it's just not as poppin' in my business, what I focus on are personal growth situations that I can control. And inside my business, that looks like revamping systems. That looks like retraining myself in areas that I feel weaker in, that I need more help on. That's when I'm going to other leaders in this business and asking them questions. I'm watching trainings on YouTube. Me and Alex are coming up with leap to lead programs and things for our team, you guys, our teams, whatever. And that's when I'm re-engaging with my own personal things that I feel like I could be working on. And having slow times in our business is the perfect time to do that, because during the fall and winter, we are 100% engaged with our customers, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's good. And that's what our business needs. But during slow months is when you can reinvest into you and your personal growth. And so I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I think that it's a perfect opportunity for you to train, retrain, revamp, re-engage, and grow yourself as a leader, as a sponsor, as a Sensi consultant, as whatever form you want to be in this business. That's how you can become that's when you can take the time to become better at it. That's when that time can be set aside for that. Okay. Um, so hopefully that answers that a little bit. April asked, how do we keep teammates motivated? Okay, so we've sponsored people and they were really excited in the beginning, and then they have fallen off. Sound familiar to anyone? Yeah. Okay, we know that this happens. And I'm just going to drop a little truth bomb here for you all. And in no way is it, this is not a negative in my opinion. This is just the way it is. Okay. Um, that's going to happen. It's going to happen to every single one of you. It's going to happen. If it hasn't happened yet, it will happen and it will continue to happen. And let me be very clear with you. There is nothing that you can do to stop it from happening. Okay. There will always be people who are motivated in the beginning. And like I said just a few minutes ago, motivation is fleeting. Okay. When somebody's why is not tied to their business and the reason they get up in the morning, when it is not rooted in this, in Sensi, in this business, then it's a chain that is easily broken. Okay. It is very easy for them to say, oh, you know what, never mind, I don't need Sensi, never mind that, me getting an extra $30 a month for gas, nah, it's okay, I'll find a different way, I'm just gonna go get a part-time job, or whatever. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That is why me and Alex train so heavily on this idea of running with the runners and walking with the walkers. And never will I say this is a negative, because it's just the way that it is. Not everybody is going to see the vision in this business for the long term. Okay. Not everybody is going to see Sensi as the way to make their dreams come true. They may see it in the beginning. They may think that that's a really grandiose idea and that they want that, but wanting it and working for it are two very different things. Okay. And many of you who are here have experienced slow months, burnout, slow teammates, whatever. You may have experienced all of that and pushed through it and said, nope, Sensi is the vision. I'm going to keep working for it. And more power to you. But you understand that it's not easy. And that on some days it is a push to stay motivated. Again, nothing wrong with it, but not everybody is going to feel that way about Sensi, and that is okay. Okay. There is freedom in knowing that you are not responsible for motivating other people. Okay. In the beginning, when we recruit people, we really want to be their biggest cheerleaders, and we really want to motivate them because we want to inspire them and we want to encourage them and we want to give them every um we want to give them all of the courage and the know-how to go out and chase those dreams that they had, and let them know that they are capable. And I am that person. I want to tell you, you can do it. You are capable. I believe everybody is capable of chasing their dreams and going after what they want and letting Sensi be that path. But not everybody is going to feel that way a few steps in. Okay. Not everybody is going to be motivated a weekend. Not everybody is going to want it that badly. And what happens more often than not, you guys, quite honestly, is that people realize that it actually takes some work. We're actually having to put in effort. And, I mean, really nothing worth having comes free, but people do still hold that notion that it is that this business is just kind of okay, I can post what I love and social media, and okay, I got this, and wait a second, now I'm a month in and now I have to actually follow up with people, and oh wait, now I have to ask people to book parties, and if I really want to grow in the compensation plan, I should be growing a team, and for some people that's just not, that doesn't align with what they really want, and there's nothing wrong with that. Our job as leaders, our job as entrepreneurs is to open the door. We are the gatekeepers for people to realize their dreams. Okay. We can be the, let me open your eyes to what's possible, but we cannot be responsible or carry people across the threshold. Okay. Some of you I know carry that with you. You want to carry people across the threshold to get them to their dreams. And what ends up happening is you are sacrificing your own business and you are sacrificing your own dreams in return. And that's not what this business calls you to do. That is not what we are about. We are about turning around and helping the next person, giving them a hand and inspiring them and motivating them and encouraging them to let them know you can take that next step, but I can't carry you. Okay? Motivation is fleeting. Okay? We are not responsible for carrying other people's motivation for them. You cannot do that. Okay. That is a fast track to burnout. Okay. There's a difference between being burnt out as a consultant to your customers, and there is a whole nother level of being burnt out to your teammates when you are carrying them for the sake of keeping them motivated. It's just not going to happen. Let me take that off of you right now. You cannot motivate people. You cannot. You have to give yourself permission and understand that there is a fine line. Okay, I mean there is a line, right? Because I tell you, yes, motivate and encourage your team in the beginning and all that stuff, but at some point if they don't want it enough to take the next step towards their dreams, we are empowering people to take the next step towards their dreams. We're not carrying them. Okay, so there's a fine line, and we've talked about it before and we can continue to have this conversation, but let me just be very clear with you. We can't keep our people motivated if they don't want it. We just can't. But with that being said, I saw it in the comments. Sometimes people go through seasons. Okay. And seasons, man, sometimes we join Sensi, sometimes we do something and we're at the height of the high and we do really want it. And since he is the vision, and then life happens, and it's just like an avalanche, and we watch people tumble down mountaintops, and it's scary, and we want to help them, but then wait, no, we can't carry that for them. We can't keep them motivated, and so we back away. And then that person comes back, and we've seen it before. One of our very own directors is a reinstatement, right? She joined Sensi, life happened, she went inactive, and then came back years later and is now a director right here on this team. Seasons. Sometimes people go through seasons, and you might have this happen to you where you have a teammate and you watch them go through that season, and when they come back, your role, fall back in line to being one of their biggest cheerleaders. That is your job. Okay. You continue to open that gate for them again and you let them know, yeah, no, Sensi can still be that vision for you. You're never too far gone from Sensi being that vision for you. It's never too late to take that next step. But I still can't carry you. Seasons happen. And seasons may happen to you. Anybody here, it may happen to you. Okay? We don't know. We don't know. But don't put the responsibility on somebody else's shoulder to carry you through that season, to hold your business afloat. Nobody can do that for you. Only you can. Only that person can. And if they come back, you welcome them back with open arms. Okay? Um okay, so I had multiple people ask, funny, about recruiting. And let me just say this about going back to teammates and keeping them motivated and all that kind of stuff. Jennifer Anderson, I don't know if she's the one who said this, but I know she says it a lot. I don't know if she's the one who made it, but she says, recruit the many to find the few. Recruit the many to find the few. What does that mean? That means that we are going to, if you want, because again, the long-term sponsoring and all that kind of stuff is not cut out for everybody. Not everybody's going to want to grow a team, and there's nothing wrong with that. I was one of those people, actually. Didn't want to grow a team, was not interested. But if you are interested in the long-term success and growth of this business and having a no ceiling income, if you're interested in that, the truth of the matter is you will have to recruit the many to find the few. Okay. So you're going to have to recruit and sponsor a lot of people to find the few who see the vision. Okay. Let me just be very point blank with you. We have a lot of upcoming leaders on our team. Alex can say the same thing. I know for me personally, speaking from two different teams, I have a lot of upcoming leaders. I can think of 5 right off the top of my head who are not quite directors yet, but I know that they're going to be there. Okay. But let me just tell you, we have 505 people on Scented Dreamers, and we have 10 directors. Okay. That's not to say that all of the leaders, the few, are where they're supposed to be. But right now, if I'm being real with you, recruiting the many to find few, I didn't recruit 500 people, but you talk about 505 people on a team, and we have 10 directors right now, 10 directors or above, right? We have a star director as well. I love it. I'm here for it. I know there's more up and coming, but I'm here for my 10 directors. I mean, that's amazing to me. And I clap, clap, clap all the way. I know there's more coming up, and I'm excited to see them, but I can't stop at 10. We have to constantly be understanding that every person that you recruit, every person that you talk to, every person who's excited about joining is not going to be your rock star. They're not going to be the person who gets you to superstar director. That's a thing that's said all the time. The team that gets you to director is not going to be the team that keeps you there. Just not. So when we talk about how do we have recruiting conversations and things like that, it's, to me, it's really, it's a simple concept. It's the execution may be difficult for some people depending on level of comfort and things like that. But the concept of recruiting is simple to me, and it's twofold. 1, you ask everyone, and 2, you share everything. Ask everyone, share everything. Okay. When it comes to recruiting, you don't leave people unasked. You never know what this opportunity could provide for someone. We talk about not making up people's minds for them, and um, you know, stepping outside of our comfort zones to ask people who, you know, for whatever reason we've avoided, or they're our best customers or whatever. We've gone down that path. But you have to ask everyone. You have to go for the no. You have to be inquisitive. You have to make those connections. You have to give yourself permission to be rejected. And that sucks. Nobody wants to be rejected. Like, oh God, ugh, I hate being rejected. Still to this day, y'all, I hate being rejected. Rejection is not fun. I don't know that it ever gets easier. But I can tell you that it's it becomes a it becomes a small blip in your mind, like a little hiccup in the road when you hear a no. Not that it doesn't sting, but when I hear a no and I have 10 directors on my team and I have people who are paying bills, paying debt, going on free trips, going to Disney World, taking their family to Disney World. When I have people in my mind who have said yes and have come so far, those no's I can get past. I can make it through. And maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're like, well, I only have two people on my team and, I'm cheering them on. We're doing fine. But like, where do I find the success? You find the success in everything you possibly can. Okay. You go for the no. You ask everyone. Everyone. My favorite way to ask people about the opportunity, it comes from Debbie Pitts Palmer, superstar director, love her to death. She recruits, I think she's recruited like 20 people in a month. Like it's crazy. She asks people, "Have you ever thought about doing what I do?" And I love that. And we've talked about this before a million times, but that's my favorite way to approach a conversation with somebody. Not to trick them, not to sound sleazy, nothing like that. It's a real genuine question because a lot of people in your circle who are watching you have thought about doing what you do. Why? Because you make it look fun. And that goes back to the second part of it. Share everything. If you are sharing your Scentsy life, if you are constantly telling people that Scentsy is a blessing, and I don't care if it blesses you because your house smells good or if it pays a car payment. I don't care if it blesses you because you get to stay at home or if it blesses you because you got a date night. I don't care what the blessing looks like to you. I mean, I'm happy for you. I'll clap for you all day long, but I don't care how big or small or little or mediocre it feels maybe to you or to other people. I don't care what it looks like to anybody else. If it matters to you, you share it. You need to be sharing it with people. Everything. Share everything. Today on my stories, I shared a picture of my son with a big old smile on his face because we went on a bike ride at like 10:30 this morning. I'm a stay-at-home mom still because of Scentsy. I could take my son on a bike ride at 10:30 in the morning and have a blast. Then we went and got quesadillas and had a picnic on the front yard. That's that's because of Scentsy. And somebody who's watching my story right now is going to look at that and go, "Man, I wish I could do that. I want to stay at home. I want to be with my babies." They're watching you. And if you're not sharing every moment that matters to you, every impact Scentsy has in your life, you're you're not giving those people an opportunity to say, "I wonder what it would be like to be a Scentsy consultant. I wonder what it'd be like to do what she does." So that when you ask that person, right? Because you're going to ask everybody. When you ask that person, "Have you ever thought about doing what I do?" Guess what's going to pop up in their mind? "Oh my gosh, yeah. You know what? When you posted that picture of your son with his smile and you guys went on a bike ride that morning, I want to do that." Okay. Ask everyone, share everything. Consistency is the umbrella that hangs over sponsoring. I mean, it hangs over our entire business, but you want to recruit people, it's going to require you to stay consistent because I'll tell you what, I am not interested in a business where I'm seeing people post about it for a week and then all of a sudden they ghost for a month and then they come back. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I love my business again." Do you? Because you were gone for a month. You're not consistent. I could not imagine waking up and not doing Scentsy. I can't. It's not even like I can't even fathom doing it. Even on the days where I don't feel motivated, I'm motivated by my dreams. And I know Scentsy can get me there because it's already laid a foundation of my dreams. It's already blessed me and impacted my life. So I can't imagine waking up and not doing Scentsy. So if you are going to have a conversation with people when you ask them, or if you're going to have a conversation or share about how Scentsy has impacted your life and how much you love it, it better look like that on a day-to-day basis. It better be a consistent thing that people can watch and see, right? We talked about people need to be able to see these things multiple times before they start to question it, before they start to wonder about it, before they start to believe it. Relationship, people liking, knowing, and trusting you requires you to be transparent and requires you to be consistent, showing up. Nobody likes a flaky friend, right? I don't want my consultants to be flaky either. And if you tell me Scentsy is the best part about you, and you love your business, and Scentsy has made all these dreams come true, but I don't see you talking about it, I don't see what it's done for you, I can't go to your Facebook profile and even tell you're a consultant, I can't trust you. Consistency is the umbrella that has to hang over your business in all aspects. Okay. So you can be, and maybe you're saying, well, I am super consistent. I am sharing my life. I am sharing how Scentsy has blessed me. Okay. Are you asking everyone? What is the hump that you need to get over? And sometimes, you know what? It goes back to seasons, right? This is where it's really simple, but the execution can be a little bit complicated, right? Because we can feel like we're doing all the right things, but sometimes timing is everything. Sometimes it's seasons. Sometimes it's the way we're asking. Sometimes it's what we're saying. And sometimes it just needs a little bit more time. Okay. So for some of you, if you were to ask me about your personal situation and recruiting and stuff, I may give you a different answer. I may tell you it sounds like it's just you're in a season, but you have to ask yourself, am I sharing everything? Am I asking everyone? And am I being consistent? And if you say no, or you kind of waver on any of those three things, then that's what you need to work on when it comes to recruiting. Okay. Okay. So the last thing that got brought up, how are we on time? Okay. Last thing that got brought up was the comp plan. Norma asked, as you grow a team, all that kind of stuff, talking about how the comp plan grows and how money is to be made from all of that. I do think that this is a training for another time, but just for the sake of putting it out there, especially for maybe some new people on here who don't know this, I'll just break it down real simply for you. Our compensation plan is the best compensation plan from any direct sale company that I have personally seen or that I have heard of from other leaders in this company who have been a part of other direct sale companies. Okay. So trusting and knowing the compensation plan is a necessity in this business. And I will be very frank with you. There are still some questions that I get like a little weebly wobbly on. I'm not asking you to know every single darn detail, but understanding how the compensation plan works as you continue to climb the ladder on the compensation plan is important, right? If you're sitting at a title, but you have no idea what these numbers mean, I would encourage you to look through it and ask questions with your sponsor, or go over it with somebody so that you can understand it. But let me just be very clear. If you do not plan on growing a team, that is okay. Okay. I will never push people to do stuff that they don't want to do until you realize that you want to do it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll never push people to do stuff that they don't want to do. But should you decide you don't want to recruit anybody, you do have a ceiling income. And that ceiling income is only what you can sell per month. You are capped by that. So, I mean, I guess if you sold thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in Scentsy, you could make a pretty decent check. Okay. You sell $2,000 worth of Scentsy and you'll get a $600 check, because the max percentage that you can make on your own with no team is 30% of your commissions. 30%. Okay. So very easy to do the math. Once you hit $1,000, you start out at 20% when you first join Scentsy. Once you do $1,000 in sales, there is no time frame in which you have to do that. But once you sell $1,000, you get a permanent 5% pay increase. So that bumps you up to 25%. And then every month that you can do 2,000, you get an additional 5%. And that starts over every month. So every month you start back over at 25%. But if you do consistently, or if you do a month of 2,000 PRV or more, you get an additional 5% bonus. Okay. That is the max that you can do on your own earnings. Okay. So if you do not plan on growing a team, that is kind of the ceiling income percentage that you are under. If you do plan on growing a team, or you are a leader already, you're on your way to a no ceiling income. Okay. The compensation plan is built for growing wide, and growing deep. We want to recruit the many and find the few, and all of that stuff. And there's room for everybody on this compensation plan, and there is good money to be made at every single level. But understanding what it looks like and how to have a no ceiling income requires you to understand these numbers. Okay. So I definitely feel like that a different training dedicated to this should be scheduled. Definitely don't have time for it here, but the compensation plan is something that is inevitable to your business and can be your greatest asset as you, especially if you're a numbers person, your greatest asset as you decide what role Sensi is going to play in your life. Right? If money is a driving factor for you, which, hello, driving factor for me, you're going to want to know what this means to you and how to get there. Okay. So Norma, thank you for that question. Me and Alex will definitely schedule a compensation plan breakdown for you, not for you, for everyone, so that we can dive deeper into that. Okay. So that is basically the hodgepodge of questions that I had pulled off of social media. I'm going to say goodbye to the recording and to YouTube, and then we can go over questions. Bye, YouTube.